Let me tell you, I absolutely love this device. I've only had it for around 24 hours, but I've had pretty much every fold that's came out since its inception. And I gotta tell you, this one is easily the best yet. Obviously, it's the latest, it should be the best, but there's some things about this that really make this way more worth it than before. And I'm gonna explain to you what they are in this video. Now, this phone retails for a ridiculous $17.99, so near $2,000. So Samsung really hasn't been pushing for a cheaper foldable just yet, unless you want to get the Z Flip 4, but I mean like the Fold edition. But they improve certain things about this phone that really do make it better from a user experience perspective, and that's really important because that's really where they need to improve the Fold series. The first thing I really noticed about this phone right away, and that is on the front, the Z Fold 3 had a much thinner display here on the front of the phone. Now you have a wider aspect ratio for the Galaxy Z Fold 4, and the Z Fold 4 does give you a better experience because of that. It's a much more usable display on the front, and while it doesn't seem like a lot in this video, believe me, it's a hair bigger, and every inch definitely improves the user experience for the Fold series. Definitely improving that width here on the front. They also did this on the S22, S22 Plus. They made the aspect ratios wider, so that's also great for those phones, but they did it here for the Z Fold 4 as well. I also got to say that the crease is much less noticeable now, especially on white screens than before. You know, it's still there, which I still don't like. I wish it wasn't there altogether, but it's not as noticeable as the crease that was pretty prominent here on the Z Fold 3. So that crease was pretty on the Z Fold 3, so definitely they thinned that out. It's not quite as prominent, still there, but not horrible. Also, the phone immediately felt lighter to me, so if you're looking for a fold that feels lighter to hold, that's also great. And the edges feel quite premium as well. They kind of feel similar to like a 13 Pro Max with its stainless steel. Not saying this is that, but it's definitely quite premium feeling. The hinge also looks a little bit smaller than before, and something about this just feels so much more durable than the inception of the Fold, which was very much a beta product. And also they improved the cameras, but the phone just feels lighter, easier to hold, wider on the front. Just an awesome experience overall. It's just much more of an everyday folding phone you could use now and not worry about it too much versus the original days of the Galaxy Z Fold. Another small tweak, but it also makes this a better experience, is they thinned out the bezels on the inside of the display versus the Z Fold 3, and that really does make for a better viewing experience on the inside. Also, it's a little bit harder to see. I don't even know if you could see it. It's a little bit harder to see that under display camera. There it goes. It's a little bit harder to see. I actually had to look for it this time. Z Fold 3, it was very easy to notice that. They made that a little bit more invisible, although they didn't really improve the quality too much. They definitely made it a little bit harder to see. So the interior display, or unfolded, really shows a much better experience here for the Galaxy Z Fold 4. This really makes it feel more refined than it used to feel, so I really had to mention that. I really like when you get thinner bezels. It just really makes the whole phone feel more immersive. And of course, on this inner display, you do have the 120 Hertz, which makes it buttery smooth day to day. Then when you go to the front display, you also get that similar 120 Hertz panel, which also makes it a nice smooth transition between both display panels. So yeah, everything about this phone just better in the usability department. So when you unfold this, it feels more durable than ever. When you close it, it's got a nice satisfying close. Like, it just feels like a more durable build. One of my favorite things that just transforms the Z Fold 4 specifically is its multitasking. So when you do go ahead and open the applications, you'll see this new dock down at the bottom. It kind of reminds me of something like iPad OS or something like a Windows computer with their own dock at the bottom. So you can definitely go between applications here, which is pretty neat. So if I go here to phone, I can go back to calculator. I can go over here into camera. I can go over here into my recent apps dock. You can just kind of switch between things, and you can also bring those multi-views windows in here as well. So if we go to all apps here, let's go over here. You can see you can have two, and then you can also bring the dock back up And then you can go ahead and bring something else in here, like a little pop view application right there. So pretty cool, man. I mean, the multitasking is unreal on this phone. It's actually one of the best features about this, really taking this to the level of productivity you're not going to find on other smartphones on the market, to be quite honest with you. The Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 Adreno 730. This is pretty similar to the setup you're going to find in the Galaxy S22 Ultra. Just the processor's a little bit better with managing the heat. Overall, I haven't found it to get too warm. It got a little warm under initial setup, but overall, it's been pretty cool to the touch. And overall, it hasn't felt like it's got too warm. So it seems like this processor is doing a little bit better at managing heat than the original 8 Gen 1. Not bad. Performance is solid. It actually feels incredibly quick. It reminds me a lot of, you know, iPhone's A series chip in terms of just everyday boss performance. So definitely solid on here. You're not going to have no issues with just everyday performance. It can really run everything. So in device care, you can see we do have 12 gigabytes of RAM available. Right here, only using about 4 right now. You can see right there, 12 gigabytes of RAM available here in device care settings. So pretty neat. I mean, this thing is loaded with all the stuff you need. Also back there in device care, you'll see storage. I got the 512 gig. It was being offered for the same price as the 256. So why would you pass up on that? I mean, literally, this phone has literally everything you need in a phone all in one package. It literally turns into a regular phone. It turns into a tablet. It's got monster storage. You can also get this with 1 terabyte now. Great cameras. This thing literally does everything in your pocket, and yes, it could fit in your pocket as well. Another area that's an improvement, and a pretty big one, is the cameras. Now, the cameras can go now up to 30x zoom. That is a first for the Z Fold series, being able to zoom that far. That's pretty incredible, because now you don't have to go to your regular S22 to get that nice zooming functions. I like that a lot, because it's not fair that, you know, we're paying this much and not getting the farther zoom. At least we're getting 30x now. In video, you also have pro grade videos. You can do 8K 24, you can do UHD 60. They're super steady on here as well. If we go over to more, you'll see there's a ton you can do here. You can do hyperlapse, slow motion director's view. You have pro modes, pro video modes. I mean, so you have this 12 megapixel ultra wide, 50 megapixel main, and 10 megapixel telephoto. You're getting pretty much all the versatility you would need in the camera. Then on the front camera, they also have a 10 megapixel selfie camera. You can back it out a little bit, and that works pretty well. Of course, you have the cool folding features that we talked about last year, where you can kind of like use this mode right here, where you can see your picture, see what you're doing. You can then also start your camera on the front and use this as a selfie. So go ahead and flip this like this, and then you can use the rear cameras as a selfie. This can be pretty awesome if you want to get wide angle, you want to zoom in on stuff. I don't know why you would want to do that, but for vlogging purposes, pretty sweet. Then in addition to that, of course, because this phone does fold, you do get the ability to use this in different flexing modes. So yeah, you can kind of like place it like this, like you were able to do before. You still have that feature. Obviously, they're going to carry over everything they had before. You can use this phone like this. In addition to that, you can also open it up, and you can use it on an angle like this as well. So this can be pretty neat, especially if you want to take pictures and stuff and you don't have your hands free. It could be used as a tripod or something like that. You could even set this up like this and take a little video. You don't even need a tripod to take a video. Pretty neat. You can see right there, you'll be off and ready to take a video. Also, I wanted to mention that the Z Fold 4 has one of the most accurate fingerprints on a Samsung phone, because it's an embedded physical fingerprint. And just like before, it's incredibly reliable. It pretty much is the same one. You can still swipe down for notifications and things of that sort. So pretty nice. I really do love this fingerprint sensor. They made sure that everything about this phone basically just works, and that's what's great about it. I mean, there's really no flaws besides one area that I don't really like too much, and that's the battery life. It does have a 4400 milliamp hour battery, so it's not any improved over the Z Fold 4. You can kind of tell that it has a lesser battery than some other Samsung phones. It drains a little bit faster, But I would also say that you'll definitely get through a day if you're a busy person. I think a lot of people using this phone probably will be productive people, you know, that are pretty busy doing things throughout their day. So I think it'll last most of the day for a lot of people. It's impressive to me how Samsung has managed to make this phone even lighter. It makes it more usable on the front. This is a pretty easy to one-hand phone, just because it's narrow on the front, but it's also wide enough now where you can actually use the front without feeling like it's too narrow. That's pretty good. It improves the keyboard, but also how they've managed to make it like lighter when you're holding it this way. So overall, it just feels like a much more ready to use. It just doesn't feel beta anymore. It feels like it's now ready to use. Yes, does it feel like it's not at its ultimate level? It still has some years of refinement needed. Yeah, I think they could get rid of this, you know, crease altogether. That would be the ultimate dream fold phone. I do want to see an even bigger front display. I know this is nice, I love it, but I still want to see a bigger front display because it's still quite narrow compared to, you know, a standard slab phone, but still much improved over the other ones. By the way, what do you think of this gray green? I really do love this color right here. They also have it in burgundy and a couple other colors like gold and black. So definitely some nice colors there. They also improved something else that they kind of threw in here with this pre-order I did. The standing cover with the S Pen. Now you can get this right now on pre-order if you still pre-order the Z Fold, which is up for sale on August 26th officially. So just a couple days it'll be officially for sale. So if you get a pre-order in now, you might get this for free. You can see when we put this on, this case right here, the standing case, let's go ahead and put this on over here. It's not too thick and it covers the phone up quite nice. Now the Z Fold 3 had this really thick S Pen case that really just made the experience weird. It was just a little floppy, didn't feel premium. And then when you open up the phone, it kind of drug out over here, made this phone, it just doesn't feel good. And then this sticks out quite a bit. Yeah, you could pull this off. Some people did like that. Then it becomes as thin as this, but you know, usually I want to carry my S Pen with me, so that's definitely a huge upgrade here for this phone. Now you can also see when you open it up, still stays about that same thickness, and this is also a standing case, so you can bring this up like this, and then if you want to watch some video or anything like that, there you go. So very good usability. Not only that, this is also has the ability to slide out like that, and will bring in the Z Fold Edition S Pen. So let's go ahead and place that inside there. Snaps in. I mean, this feels modular. I really like this. Then you can pull this S Pen out. It has a very thick slot for a very sturdy, reliable S Pen storage. One thing I don't like on this case though is you can see it's flopping around like that. So one thing you have to do if you want this more flat is you'll have to take this off, place this on a table, and then you're a little more flat so you can do your writing and drawing. Now remember, when you are using the Galaxy Z Fold, make sure you're using the Fold Edition S Pen. It is required, or you could damage this display. I think the S Pen doesn't feel as smooth to me as like on the S22 Ultra or as on like the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra, those Samsung tablets, because it just, the nib is just a little bit more circular. I don't know, it just doesn't feel quite as smooth on this plastic inner display, but it still works great, and the fact that you have it available is a win altogether. I still think the ultimate thing would be able to get this S Pen in the body, Samsung. In addition to that, I'm still annoyed how I cannot write on the front display. You can see you still cannot write on the front, and I do want to have the ability to write on the front of the panel, so that would be a nice upgrade. But overall, this case also improves usability versus the older case. So everything about the Fold 4, just a better experience than the Fold 3. Is it like groundbreakingly better? No, but is enough to say it's the best one yet? Absolutely. The Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4, it's durable, it's usable, it has pretty much everything you want in a foldable smartphone, unless you want a wider front display. You know, it's really getting pretty refined here with this Z Fold 4. However, there's still certain things that make me a little concerned. This is not really dust protection. This phone still doesn't write with the S Pen on the front. You know, it still feels a little bit delicate on this inner display. So I think if Samsung continues with this design, we're gonna have to see some other design if they want to make it like ultra durable. But it's still much better than the prior editions. It's faster, better cameras, better battery life. The experience is just better altogether. And You know, I wasn't overly impressed with the Z Fold 3 versus the Z Fold 2. It had some nice improvements, but this one feels amazing. So definitely, I think if you have the Z Fold 3, they're doing 1,000 on the trade-in. You might want to trade in for the Z Fold 4. If you haven't had a foldable and you pick this up now, you're getting the best edition yet of the Z Fold 4. So I picked it up and I absolutely love this phone. It's pretty awesome. I think Samsung's onto something here, and I think it's only going to get better as we go on. If you guys want to see a full comparison on these two, let me know down below in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here, and let me know your thoughts on the Galaxy Z Fold 4. I'll catch you on the next one. Be sure to be well, and peace.